Summoner Duels Ranked is coming up this Thursday, and if you haven't started preparing, then now's a good time. Hello, my name is Dr. Tan, and thank you for watching. So, like I just mentioned, Summoner Duels Ranked is coming up this Thursday, and not much about the meta has changed since the last SDR, but I think it's important to go over some details on what to prepare for and what to look out for. So, I've listed, just like the last time, the list of units that will likely appear in your Summoner Duels Ranked run, with the top being as units that you will definitely see, middle being as units you'll likely see, and some units that you'll less likely see. And every unit has their reasons for showing up on their tier, but we'll start with the top of the tier being Alphador. He has continued to be the #1 used unit for both SDS and SDR since his release. His ability to duplicate bonuses onto his allies and copy bonuses from everyone on the team, on his team and from the enemy team after start turn effects trigger is a very powerful effect. This enables him to duplicate Foresight Snare onto multiple allies and give himself Foresight Snare. We'll also have both of Volley show up. She's a good utility and support, and nuke to some degree, being able to provide drive, distant counter or close counter, and the miracle effect, along with some other additional support effects such as instruct or uplift and imbue, grants her allies more survivability and just stat inflation. Of course, we'll see both Heimdallers here. I think people tend to prefer the New Year's version over the Mythic version, I think because of her drive support effect. But the main unit that we really want to look out for is actually Harmonic Brave Lyn. So she's been around since November of last year, but with the introduction of drive effects that are providing support such as Emblem Lucina and Allfather and Volley, Omni Feud effects are becoming much more coveted nowadays so that you can ignore such support that would swing matchups. She also is a 7-range Cav nuke that is able to take out units from afar. Far Saviors in general have a hard time dealing with her, except if you're running like Shield Fighter build like for Mortis, or you could run an Ike Ring build on Brave Exthanir, which I will talk about later. Summer Thor is still going to be a unit that you'll see quite frequently, even with the introduction of Mythic Adult Tiki. She still provides great support with high resistance for what's it called? It's the Sabotage effect and the Schism effect, but there's also a new set of drive skills that kind of act like the detect skills, but they're drive effects on a global range. And the ability to completely cleanse the enemy team of their bonuses is also a very strong effect for swinging matchups for a turn. You also see Legendary Sakura. She's still at the top of the meta with her salvage effect. She will more likely be paired up with Harmonic Brave Lyn because she doesn't have Canto distance. I believe she has Canto Rem, so she does require extra assistance with the Canto movement to be able to retreat back to her team. With the new, we do have one new addition up here at the top that we'll be seeing a lot, which is Duo Sigurd. Him being able to provide gallop to his team is a very strong effect. When he's paired up with Harmonic Brave Lyn and Allfather, what Allfather can do is that he will copy the gallop effect from Duo Sigurd and then duplicate it onto Harmonic Brave Lyn. So she goes from a 7-range Cav to a 9-range Cav, effectively covering most of the map. If you don't have an answer for this combo, then you're going to be having a hard time within this SDR. So I recommend preparing a team that's similar to the team comps that I mentioned, or having a hard counter to both Duo Sigurd and Harmonic Brave Lyn. And the next tier down, we'll be seeing these heroes show up somewhat more often than the tiers below it, but you won't see them 100% of the time for sure. Mythic Adult Tiki is the perfect counter towards Summer Thor and Mythic Loki. You won't be seeing Mythic Loki a lot, but Summer Thor is still going to be around, just as I mentioned. She's also a very decent Far Savior, though she is not invincible. She will have hard time against Young Claude, for example, and sometimes Harmonic Brave Lyn, given the matchup. Speaking of Young Claude, he will definitely be showing up here as another 7-range Cav nuke. He, with his effect of being able to reduce the foe's retaliation or counter attacks to 1 damage means that he's able to make very good use of reflexes. And reflexes is a bonus that's easily supplied by Alien Mia or Legendary Black Knight. I'll talk about Mia later, but that combination with Young Claude means that if Young Claude's showing up, Alien Mia will also be likely showing up next to him to help maximize his damage output. Emblem Lucina did get her debut lesson, or her release about a month ago or so. So, her drive effect for reducing enemies' attacks by 40% throughout the entire engagement, I believe it's the entire, or maybe it's just the first attack. But yeah, I think it's just the first attack. Reducing it by 40% unpierceable damage reduction makes her a very valuable support ally, with also granting the Future Witness bonus and dodge, and then she also comes with attack speed favor, so she would also be providing empathy. So right there, she's already granting a ton of attack and speed support, along with damage reduction. And she's also a great user for firm Canto Curb or Canto Control. Being able to sit in the back line while not having to worry about too much combat, while also providing great Strive support and Canto Control, is a very valuable support unit to have. Next up is Alien Hilda. She still provides great support for inflicting penalties on the foe and granting allies the Brave effect, and she is also great for action economy. Arena Crom performs similar or acts similar to that of Allfather, but he is a bit slower in terms of being able to move around. He is an infantry range unit, so he's not able to traverse forest tiles or the forest tiles or the water tiles on the map at all, while Allfather is. And he also doesn't have a Shadow Smite effect. He is a very strong nuke, however. He's able to take care of a lot of Far Saviors that are not running Shield Fighter. Next up after this would be Tea Time Veronica. She definitely ages better than Tea Time Ingrid because of the feud penalty that she's able to apply at the start of turn and then reapply with her action economy. She does have somewhat decent combat, but you will see that she provides the best usage in Summoner Duels through her action economy and her feud support. One unit that's starting to make a resurgence would be Attuned Tharja. Turns out she is a perfect counter to both volleys, and she's also able to shut down Shield Fighter saviors, and also just saviors in general. She is a bit of a savior sniper. She has a high amount of damage reduction so that she becomes surprisingly bulky, but she's also very fast. So what you could do is that you can give her Instruct in favor so that she's able to grant units or her allies the empathy effect, and also inflate stats using the Instruct skill. She also grants out Anathema and Charge to all allies within 3 spaces, so saviors are able to make more utilization of being able to have more flexible openers. I already kind of discussed Alien Mia. She still is a very effective reflex bot with a high range with the Heavenly Orders. There's not really much to say about her besides that she's just a good backpack for Young Claude, where he is going to be seeing more action than her, but she is a good follow-up sweeper in the cases where you need her to be. New Year's Balder was at the top of the meta in the previous SDR, but she has fallen down a bit because people are just starting to figure out ways to counter her. She's still a very effective unit and one of the best users of the Edelgard ring, but I think on this map people are going to be prioritizing using high-range cavalry nukes that are able to outrange her. Brave Ecthenir is also going to be a unit that will be returning more nowadays. People are starting to figure out that ways to keep Brave Ecthenir alive with the use of the Lucina ring and even with the Ike ring. I have seen people being able to get Brave Ecthenir to survive Harmonic Brave Lyn and other nukes such as the new legendary Leon with the use of the Ike ring. So be on the lookout for him. More often than not, you'll see him being paired up with Attuned Tharja and Mythic Adult Tiki for the extra movement, and Mythic Adult Tiki to make sure that this guy's assigned decoy statuses that is granted to Adult Tiki is not getting cleansed. Legendary Elise will also be here as well. She provides good support with the attack and speed liberation, the drive, the drive support effects of canceling out foes' passive miracle effects, and with the use of her style, she's able to punch holes into divine terrain from like the Corrin ring and Emblem Corrin, that sort of thing. And the units down below, kind of going to skim over them for the most part. I mean, Lachesis, you're going to see her show up because she's a new unit. Harmonic Brave Celica because she's a bit of a counter pick, or like almost quote-unquote anti-meta, because people may be expecting Harmonic Brave Lyn to be showing up and will get surprised when Harmonic Brave Celica is there. However, she has the downside of having to worry about stall, so she would require cleansing. Day of Devotion Hortensia is also here. She kind of functions similar to Brave Ecthenir, but it does require that she does act first, or that her team does act first all the time, so that Duo Sigurd isn't able to snipe someone and then run away. Ilium Nerva is also here. I think a lot of people are still going to continue to use her because she was just an easy +10 merge project, but it ended up being one of the better merge projects so far. We also have Alien Azura for the drive support and the action economy. Winter Ivy is also here. She gives good support with her dual button to be able to, similar to what Legendary Elise does, punch a hole into enemy terrain using the haze terrain so that units are able to warp in, kill something, and warp away, not have to worry about the divine terrain vert or the icicles from preventing them from being able to warp in. Howling Freya, there's a lot to say about her. She, at the time, was exceptionally good, but similar to what New Year's Baldur has been going through, people are just figuring out ways to get through her. And the answer is just to outspeed her. And that can be done outside ways of just boosting your attack and speed stats. There are ways to do that through empathy, attack speed liberate, etc. Emblem Corrin also here. Some people might be using her as a cope pick so that they can apply the divine terrain and prevent people from warping in. Arena Feroxy, I'm going to call her Arena Marth, was also being here for the Future Witness effect, the action economy, and the attack speed favor. He is also somewhat tanky at some times based on the support that he has granted to him. Emblem Micaiah will also be here for action economy and penalty cleansing. Her capabilities as a nuke is starting to deteriorate a bit, but she's still going to be around. She's still decent as a cleanup sweeper nuke. Legendary Black Knight will also be here and there, though his capabilities of tanking things has severely fallen off, but with the use of Emblem Lucina, he is able to tank more and more nowadays, though I wouldn't trust him to be able to tank Harmonic Brave Lyn because her Omni-Feud effect prevents her Emblem Lucina's drive support from assisting a Legendary Black Knight. After this, we do have Anniversary Marth, who is able to provide the +7 stat support and the Fire Emblem bonus effect to all of his allies from 2 spaces. His combat never really shined too much, but he does have that good niche of being able to provide all the stats for stat inflation and also being a good guidance support bot, but that's really just about it. You'll see a lot of people bringing this guy because maybe they don't have the units above and they're just trying to cope with being able to survive with an SDR. Young Camilla will also be showing up here and there as well. She's not a strong nuke, as strong as a nuke as Duo Sigurd or Harmonic Brave Lyn, but her ability to apply Divine Terrain Haze after start of turn effects trigger also does punch holes into the enemy's terrain so that she's able to warp in with the Selka Ring and kill something and maybe warp out, but she does have concerns against the more bulkier units and having to deal with Foresight Snare. Mythic Nerthus did get her refined a couple months ago, and it was only until recently when people started to figure out that she was actually a very exceptional unit. But given her usage from the previous SDS, people don't have as much faith in her as one would expect. I personally will be using her in SDR because she's a favorite, and I also think that I have developed a good team around her to be able to use her efficiently. She is a decent frontliner, with also providing some decent, a little bit of support, but overall, I think if you run into a Nerthus, do not underestimate her. Then we are going to have the Entwined Minion show up with the ranged action economy. You might see her paired up with Nerthus, but she will definitely show up less often. Formortis will also be here. He will be showing up because a lot of people still have him at +10, and he's still a decent savior for both far save and near save. Spring Erica will also be showing up, but she's not going to be nearly as effective as Harmonic Brave Lynn, unless if Spring Erica is showing up with Tea Time Veronica. And then I do have the new Mythic and Legendary units, Sombron and Leon, showing up here because they're brand new shiny units that people will want to use. I haven't really ever seen Sombron be successful in the Summoner Duels environment. His style does end his turn, actually, so you can't use him, kind of like similar to Legendary Elise, where you use his style and then he can act again. So Sombron, not being a savior, means he's totally reliant on his allies to be able to get anywhere. And he's supposed to act as a frontliner, while also not being able to protect his allies from 7-range cavalry, such as Harmonic Brave Lynn. So that's my take on him. I just don't think he's very good in Summoner Duels. We do have the new Legendary Leon. He is going to be dangerous in a way where people are just not going to make teams that prepare for him. You may just be surprised that, like, oh, you have your Fire Savior in place, but he attacks your frontliner anyways because he disables Savior effects. I do think overall he would be a strong unit for SCS, but in the SDR environment, I think he's a bit of a niche pick, and I would not be worried about him too much. So I want to move on to some sample teams. Okay, so I'll start off with the template that most people are going to be running. You'll notice at the top here it's comprised of 4 units, and so are the row of units below it. So the top 4 units is going to be essentially the template of teams that you're going to be running into the most. You're welcome to use this template as well, but what you will run into is kind of like a rock paper scissors effect. If you bring Summer Thor onto the team, then you'll be able to beat anyone except any team that brings Mythic Adult Tiki. If you bring Mythic Adult Tiki, then you're going to have issues with dealing with Legendary Elise. And then Legendary Sakura, she's kind of like the generic pick that one would use for the top team. She does grant the salvage effect to all of her allies, and it will allow Harmonic Brave Lynn to be able to canto back to her allies. And then we have what I'm calling the Asgore Thor team. It's a bit of a basic team. There's not much thought into it, but this is a team that people would be bringing here because they recognize that Allfather, New Year's, and the New Year's duo of, or the New Year's trio actually, is a very strong combination. And then using the Legendary Sakura with the Byleth ring for action economy will also be effective. This might end up being more of a counterpick team to the team above, so that New Year's Balder is able to warp in, snipe someone, and then warp away. But if you're running with New Year's Balder with the Edelgard ring, then she might have problems with having to survive either Harmonic Brave Lynn or Duo Sigurd. More often than not, Harmonic Brave Lynn and Duo Sigurd are going to be running Foresight Snare, so New Year's Balder would not be able to attack either of them, but you'd have to focus a support in the backline. The next up would be... Oh, I didn't give this team a name, or its hero name. So I'm just going to quickly name it that. So Young Claude, like I mentioned before, with his ability to reduce foes' attacks to 1 damage, does pair up very nicely with the reflexes bonuses, so is able to retaliate and hit very hard with reflex damage. Allfather and Legendary Sakura are here to help ensure that all the allies are able to use Canto and retreat back into a safe distance. Allfather is there to help spread the support and the Foresight Snare. Heimdall there also to grant the Foresight Snare. Then we have what's next I call a favorite demon, which is a bit of a variation of the Buzz Lightyear meme above, though instead of running Harmonic Brave Sigurd, you'd run 2 of the flex supports of Summer Thor and Legendary Sakura, and the goal here would be to just use Harmonic Brave Lynn as the primary nuke, and using Summer Thor and Legendary Sakura and Allfather to try to attack and then run so far away that the enemy is not able to retaliate. And then at the start of the next turn, you'll be able to do this again. The Foresight Snare is keeping everyone covered, or at least the units that would be vulnerable covered. And then you just rinse and repeat until the opponent runs out of enemies. Next one would be an Ike Ball team that has been seen running around. Ecthenir Ball, Mythic Adult Tiki, is a very strong combination because it is immune to Summer Thor, and then both of these allies are able to improve each other's defenses and the attack stat with the Fire Emblem effect and Fringe bonus. So you already have stat inflation for these two going on here. When paired up with New Year's Volley, they do have the drive support effect of distant counter, and then they also have the drive miracle effect. Then you'll have Feroxy Kron or Feroxy Marth here. This could be swapped out with someone like Emblem Micaiah if you wanted to, but I feel like Arena Marth does provide a good Omni-Tank support effect, or Omni-Tank reliability for the rest of the team, so that you can then eventually be able to actually attack someone and like initiate combat or survive combat. Then you have a Toon Tharja here for providing the Anathema support and the True Charge, or not True Charge, just the Charge effects to all of our allies for additional mobility. And she's also a great counter for the Volley team and for Far Saviors. Okay, well that's going to do it for now. My opinions for SDR isn't the end-all be-all. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of players that come up with a new team that counters everything that I say. But I am looking forward to SDR coming up this Thursday. If you guys found this video to be informative, or if you appreciated the information that I provided, then please feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and have a great day.